Hello, everyone, and welcome to a lovely observation of a life. And today's topic is going to be awakening. So, today I want to explore two fundamental aspects of our existence that shapes our experiences, decisions, and interactions. So, awareness and consciousness. While often used intertangibly, these terms represent distinct yet interconnected facets of our lives. What I want to say here is, if you clicked on this video, you probably seen someone going crazy, as it can appear, or you might feel like you're going crazy and you're going through an awakening, which is completely normal, that it is in the verge of insanity, because there's a lot of things that are happening. And if you're listening to this podcast, wherever you are, thank you also for all of your likes, share, and subscribes. And please share it with someone that needs to hear this message if you feel the calling to do so, always. I always come from a place of love when I make these videos. And in this case, it is a podcast, but I'm also recording it because some people like to see the visual, and we want to trust each other more in the process by doing so. Because if you're here, you're probably an empath that has been through a lot of things. And one of them is you get used and abused because you have a lovely heart. And especially when you're going through your awakening, you are awakening to the fact that, oh, no wonder that everything was the way that it was. It was all because of others knowing something that I didn't know. But I want to encourage you by telling you this, and I really want you to sit with that, because nothing that I'm sharing is just something that I've read. It comes directly from experiences. And for me, I believe that we can only share the truth from our experiences, because if we boil everything down to the atoms that are recycling constantly here, and that everything is interconnected in one, do we truthfully, whether it's scientifically, religion-wise, or our own belief system, do we truly know what the universe is, what everything is, and how it exists? We only know to that extent of what is available to us. And we have established also that we are not using our mind's full capacity, meaning that we have a lot of things that we don't know. So even when I'm sharing this, as it would be called information, it is still information that is available right now that will change because of more awareness and higher consciousness becomes available. So awareness and consciousness are commonly associated with awakening. So let's just explore their meaning. Okay, what is really awareness? Let's start there. So awareness is the ability to recognize and respond to the environment and your internal state. So for example, you might be aware of your surroundings, your own emotions, or your thoughts. There's this kind of sense of alertness. So this may involve simply noticing the rustling leaves on a breezy day, or the tension in your body during a stressful moment or situation. If we are aware, we automatically respond more thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. I feel like that one is the accuracy of really what awareness is all about. That nothing is in an impulse. It is from intuition combined with this thoughtfulness. But practically, we can navigate modern busyness and tasks without feeling overwhelmed. So we can take time to enjoy a sunset or just appreciate life natural's gift. When we have these breaks in our working days, or so that's really, if we are going to say it very simplified, what awareness is being alert and having a compassion, and nothing happens in an impulse. It is very thoughtful. The process is calm. You're more aware of yourself. It is a very personal journey, just like awakening, or we're going through an awakening. It is a personal journey. So everyone's journey is different. And you can't say that this is the correct way or this is the wrong way. That's the beauty of awakening, that is so different. And what I wanted to say before, in speaking of that, during an awakening, you might feel that everyone else is way ahead and you're kind of being left behind. You're the last one to know. And I really, really want you to hear this. You are not left alone. You're not the last one. And the last one is usually the best one, because you took time to ripen yourself. You know, some things taste more sweet. I want to give you a simple analogy. If we compare it to just eating an avocado, and an avocado is very nourishing, but it's so rough and tough and hard if it's not ripened enough. But if it gets ripened enough, just like an awakening in the right time, when it's meant to be without forced, then it is so sweet and soft and so nourishing, packed with vitamins. That is how an awakening becomes when it's natural. When it's forced, when someone is teaching you something, or the ego hijacks the experiences and it's becoming rushed, it becomes like this avocado, you can't eat it. And the same way, I can give a different analogy, because we're different people. I mean, as above, so below. In this observation of life, you know that I always consider that all levels and all aspects of our existence, whether it is higher consciousness or a lower state of consciousness, we are still one. So I want to take this time of using an analogy of bread. So you're making the bread, and you're putting it in the oven. And it's like 45 minutes, it's going to be this beautiful, beautiful bread that you're going to enjoy. But you decided to take it out middle way. So what is that going to taste like? It's not going to taste sweet at all. It's going to be very chewy and raw. And so this is the same way in awareness when we're trying, because it's a personal journey. If you know something to why you clicked on this video, and thank you for liking it, because it really comes out to other people, and these kind of topics don't reach out as much as the more dramatic topics, because it's more easy to digest. It takes a lot of courage to digest something deep as such. And so when we approach this experience as something that we're going through on our own, we understand that it becomes sweeter. But when we force it upon someone else, when we're trying to teach someone else of what we know, because that is how it can become. You just found out something and you want to share it with your family, you want to share it with your best friend. They need to know this is happening, but they're not there yet. So it becomes, we're kind of spoiling someone's experiences. We're taking away something from them that needs to be theirs. The same way if we're hiding something from someone, everyone knows and the person doesn't know. There's always the grace of God, universe, the higher powers that will take care of that person. And that person will become even, that's why I say you're never left behind in that sense. The universe will take care of you. And if you are in the company of those that are half-baked, then they're just going to be like half-baked. It's not going to be the whole truth that they understand. There's going to be illusions blocking their way, and it's going to take such a longer time, and it's more easier to get stuck. If someone tells you spiritual information and the ego hijacks the experience, it is so much more harder to awaken than what it is if you actually were constantly asleep and all of a sudden you're just awakening completely naturally without anyone telling you. That's when you are ripe, and that is when you are ready. So you can digest so much more information in a different way. So I don't know if this is, it's very different for everyone going through it to even describe it. But again, I always go from my own experience firsthand, and then to see what I've noticed in different spiritual communities. So, but on the other hand, if we speak of consciousness, then it encompasses advanced cognitive functions and self-reflection. It can vary from full alertness to sleep and altered states, such as dream or deep meditation. So consciousness enables us to reflect our own experiences. So it helps us to examine our beliefs and envision the future. So consciousness is a more broader perspective. So alertness is focusing on a specific experience of your reality, while consciousness offers a broader perspective of the overall experiences. So it all depends on the personal level, of understanding, of course. If we take this analogy of peeling an onion, and it is often used as describing layers of consciousness that I've heard many different both spiritual teachers and people that have all seekers that are seeking the truth, I would say. All of them speak of this layering, and an onion is a very good example because each layer has a distinct flavor, and the center is simply a sweeter onion. That is how an onion is built. But the most flavors are actually, and this is a fact that I enjoy cooking, but an onion, you should peel it and leave those other layers as much as possible. Sometimes we want to rip those layers out because it's more easier, but actually those layers that are on top has actually most flavor. So that means the same way when you're going through your awakening, the most flavor that you have is actually on your outer layers, okay? So you're just supposed to remove the crisp because that is what you're not. And then your layer starts. But people, as the same way when they're peeling an onion, they just want to throw away those first layers because it goes faster to get into the onion. No, take your time because those flavors are going to make the dish so much better from a cooking perspective. But the same way this analogy appeals to when it comes to our consciousness and all of these layers of us. The first one are important. The middle ones kind of have different, but again, there are distinct flavors. And then when you come to a center, just like the onion, it's just tinier, sweeter, but it's still an onion. So there's no surprise in the middle. It's the same onion, and understanding the beauty of every layer. So we don't have to rush, or we don't have to take it too slow where we stagnate. And there's nothing to rush towards because there's not going to be a surprise in there. It's just going to be an understanding that all of those layers make the onion. That is the most simplest way to understand what consciousness really is and its full picture. So fostering awareness and consciousness is actually more important than ever because it encourages us to look beyond ourselves, to listen, to emphasize, to engage with the experiences of others. Because by developing a deeper awareness of our surrounding and our inner lives, we become more attuned to the suffering and the joy to those that are around us. So we get more connected. So you're going through your awakening, you start off by you're awakening to a fact that everything that you've been told and that you know is actually a lie. And now all of a sudden things need to fall away. Everything that you have accumulated that wasn't you need to now release it in order to find out who you truly are. So there's a lot of releasing and getting rid of a lot of things that wasn't your true nature. And after that, it's embracing this beauty of who you truly are and seeing the awareness and seeing this connectiveness with everything and understanding that we all have our stories and that we all bring something unique because we all come from the same source. So this humbleness and understanding through all the layers of existence becomes in your awareness something natural that you want to just be loving towards. That's why it is a lovely observation of life. So basically, consciousness is everything that is alive and that exists without separation, which is why awareness becomes more of a personal journey that we experience as a spirit in a physical body, if that makes sense. So they are kind of similar, but one is more detailed. Awareness will be the detailed part, and consciousness is more the zooming out, the more broader perspective of it. So when you're going through this, I'm going to speak up this in another episode, so please make sure to follow this podcast, as we're going to dive more deeper into how awakening affects you within your family, within your society, with your broader perspective of everything, because belief system and everything starts to change at this level of awareness. And I would just like you all, as finishing here, because again, I wanted to say that this is simple and this is a lovely observation of life. So it's not supposed to be heavy, but it's supposed to offer a little bit direction, because we got to be careful here with when we're imposing our truth into that being the actual complete truth. It can't be, because we all have different perspectives and we all stand in a different position of looking at the truth. And we all might be pointing at the truth, but we're all standing in a different position, meaning our life, our experiences, the time of our awakening, where our consciousness is the standpoint that we are standing and looking to it. And the more aware you are, the more perspective you can capture, the more narrow you are, and you're more of a, you don't have so much consciousness, you're more aware, but it becomes more selfishly, then you just see a perspective from what you are wishing to see. And nothing is good or bad here, but I would advise you all to listen to someone who has more broader perspective, because they are encapsulating the whole essence of love in one, because they can see from different perspective. And I would advise you, going through your awakening, to try to be open to as many perspectives as possible. Don't get stuck on someone saying that this is truth and this is how it's supposed to be. Again, this is a personal journey, and you're just follow your intuition, follow your heart, and trust that you're not in this alone. Even when you're awakening, that it might feel like you're isolated and you're alone. It's just time for you to stay in your energy, so you know what energy you are, so you can remove yourself from the collective, so you can become a free thinker, so you can get and hear those silent voices that are speaking to you from your heart, from your spirit, so they can guide you. And so that journey becomes lonely, but at the same time, the more you are connecting to yourself in your inner world, the more you connect to consciousness and the outer world and everyone else, and you actually realize that you're not alone. But again, I don't want to push anything here. I really want it to be very simple for you, of just understanding the difference of what is awareness, what is consciousness, and what is awakening in all of this. So to simplify is always more digestible, and you have all the answer that you seek inside of you. And I'm going to go through the Akashic records in another video or podcast here, but this lovely observation of life, I would like to finish off this podcast by encouraging you all to slow down and to stay present, to embrace the vibration of love, because I have a channel, Dimensions of Love. The higher frequency of love will aid your understanding, even in challenging situation. So if you can embody the frequency of love, you will rise up so much more quicker and more simpler and more beautiful if you stand in that frequency. If you have compassion to even those that might have harmed you, to understand that it is just a level of consciousness to where they are, to why they do what they do. And so the most simplest way to vibrate in a higher frequency so that you can clear out as much as possible is love. So if you like to check out my videos and dimensions of love, please do so. If you're returning here and you're listening to this podcast, I love you really all. And I thank you all for the support and just, for us all, ultimately, integrity matters more than always winning. So to have integrity, to be your authentic self, that's what it's about. It is this integrity that we respect others and respect ourselves. We have this integrity that we speak with our truth. We speak our own truth. Just as I want to give vibrationally to this channel the truth from my perspective and all the broadest perspective that I am connecting to, so that you can have the courage, so that you can share. If you're going through an awakening, you're supposed to do something. It doesn't matter if it's little or big. If we can do something that we love and we can share it so we can help others, that is the greatest achievement we can do in our lives right now, as a collective, as in the world, as in the year 2024. If it's really 2024, we don't even know that. We have no clue. We set the time back and forth, so even the time is flexible and changeable, so nothing is really set in stone. But what is available right now, and vibrationally, because I'm an energy reader, is that we need to embrace our authenticity, and we need to show with integrity who we are and stand firm in that, because adversity will always be there. We are in our collective consciousness, in the polarity of understanding two aspects that are complementing each other, but they're so different from one another that it can clash if it's not harmonized. So wherever you are in your journey, in your awakening, if you listen to this to try to understand someone else, there's no need to rush into this. Just take it one step at a time. And if you're gonna rush slowly, if that makes sense. And integrity really matters more than always winning. Just always remember that when someone is challenging you. And I like to end this with beautiful quotes, just to let you all be in this frequency of love and elevation. So wherever you are, I hope this finds you well. And thank you for being here. But these are beautiful quotes that I resonate with, that are connecting to awareness and consciousness. And I'm going to end something beautiful here for those that have kids, so stick around. The mind is everything. What you think, you become, said Buddha. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop, said Rumi. When you realize that nothing is lacking, the whole world belongs to you, said Lao Tzu. Awakening is not changing who you are, but discarding who you are not. Deepak Chopra said that. And more simplified and not so philosophically deep quotes will be from Eckhart Tolle, when he says, the moment you become aware of your thoughts, you're no longer trapped in them. And he also says, to awaken is to remember that you are not the small, separate self that you think you are, but rather the vast, timeless consciousness in which everything arises. And I wanted to end this with Eckhart Tolle. And again, I'm not promoting anyone. This is just what I've been guided to for the collective, to what I'm picking. I'm picking with my intuition, with my spiritual team, with the energy field when I'm doing this observation of life podcast. So I want to end with, if you have kids or you have family or nieces, I will highly recommend, and I'm going to try to put a picture here so you can see it, a book in a collaboration from Eckhart Tolle and Robert S. Friedman, which is called Milton's Secret. And it's very simply about a powerful understanding of the mind, especially for children. And I've read this book to my own kids that have understood it so simply by when someone bullies you, what goes through them and how do you react to it, and just it's a very simply beautiful book. And even if you are grown up, just to read this, it's so simplifying and reminds you, yeah, that's exactly how one understands awareness. So I highly recommend that for you all. And I thank you all for being here this long, listening to this podcast. I really appreciate you all. And wherever you are in your journey, remember that you're amazing and that you're loved. And if you're here, we're always connecting. And the true essence of who you are, I love. And all that you're not does not matter. And you will always matter the way that you are. So I thank you all for being here. And as always, have a wonderful day. And I'm sending love your way. Bye, everyone.